सुंदर श्याम देखन की आशा, सुंदर श्याम देखन की आशा, नैनन पान पगे चार याम मोए तलपत रीते रह गई।
Hello viewers, today I am going to tell you about the biography and the contribution of Pandit Vinayakrao Patwardhan, the eminent vocalist from Gwalior Gharana and the renowned disciple of great Pandit Vishnu Digambar Paluskar. He was an excellent performing artist, a dedicated teacher and an accomplished scholar musician. He was a music genius who developed his own notation system, published books in his self-developed notation system, established Sangeet Vidyalayas and imparted music education in his entire life. He was one of the very few personalities who raised the status of Hindustani classical music by popularizing it among the educated and cultured social circle. Because of his disciplined, dedicated and clean life, he earned wide respect, fame and affection. Let's know more in detail about Pandit Vinayakrao Patwardhan. Early life and training in music. Pandit Vinayakrao Patwardhan was born on July 22, 1898 in Miraj in Maharashtra, in a family where he was attracted towards music in his childhood only. Pandit Patwardhan lost his both the parents when he was only 5 and was brought up by his uncle. Initially, he was trained in music by his uncle Keshavrao Patwardhan, who was a disciple of Pandit Balkrishna Bua Ichalkaranjekar, guru of Pandit Vishnu Digambar Paluskar, and he had his own Sangeet Vidyalaya in Miraj. It was he who contacted him with Pandit Vishnu Digambar Paluskar for further training in music. When Pandit Paluskar had toured Miraj while doing his pioneering work for the propagation of classical music. On finding the talent and the interest of the young Vinayakrao, Pandit Paluskar decided to take the child along with him for his training in his Gandhav Mahavidyalaya. Fortunately, Vinayakrao came to the notice of Bala Sahib Maharaj of Miraj, who found the boy very talented and awarded him with a monthly scholarship of ₹16 and encouraged him to have the advanced training in music from Pandit Paluskar. Thus, Vinayakrao entered in Gandhav Mahavidyalaya at Lahore in 1907 to undergo the training from Pandit Paluskar. He was one of the early pupils of Gandhav Mahavidyalaya, Lahore. His uncle Narayan Rao Patwardhan was head of the Mahavidyalaya there. In 1908, when Pandit Paluskar opened another branch of Gandhav Mahavidyalaya in Bombay, his uncle Narayan Rao Patwardhan also migrated along with Pandit Paluskar. Vinayakrao proved himself such a brilliant student that Pandit Paluskar selected him among those talented students whom he groomed himself. Thus, Vinayakrao underwent the rigorous training of Panditji for 12 years, that is from the age of 9 to 21, and was groomed into an excellent musician. Pandit Vishnu Digambar Paluskar's entirely dedicated life towards the promotion and propagation of music among the masses and his highly spiritual temperament left deep impression on young Vinayak's mind. Pandit Vinayakrao felt himself doubly blessed on receiving the blessings of Pandit Pluskar's Guru Balkrishna Bua Ichalkaranjikar and the veteran Guru Ramkrishna Bua Vaze. His career. After the completion of his training in Gandharv Mahavidyalaya in Lahore, Vinayakrao returned to his native place in Miraj in 1922. He started his career in Marathi musical plays, where he played actor cum singer. He joined Gandharv Natak Mandali on the persuasion of the Nat Samrat Bal Gandharv. Except singing, he also acted the lead roles in the plays. The musical based devotional plays suited his personality. Thus, for almost 9 years, he sang and acted in the many musical dramas such as Nandakumar, Sutradhar, Dhairyadhar, Vidhi Likit, Arjun, Duryodhan, Nath, and many more. These 9 years of Marathi plays were the peak years of his acting career. Thus, he earned the countrywide name, fame, and of course, wealth. The turning point of his career came with the sad demise of his guru, Pandit Vishnu Digambar Pluskar, in 1931. He at once turned away from his career in stage plays, where he had earned enough name and fame. He felt his foremost duty to perpetuate his guru's mission of propagating classical music among the masses. After this realization, Vinayakrao Patwardhan established Gandharv Mahavidyalaya at Pune in the memory of his guru on May 5, 1936. There he dedicated himself wholeheartedly to fulfill his guru's noble work. Following his guru's footsteps, Vinayakrao too gave public performances and attracted a large number of boys and girls from the cultured society into the Vidyalaya. Pandit Patwardhan followed the pattern of Pandit Pluskar's Gandharv Mahavidyalaya of organizing the music concerts, lectures of the music scholars, imparting separate music education to boys and girls, and free education to deserving and talented pupils. Vinayakrao was a true follower of his guru, Pandit Pluskar. His guru's qualities of self-discipline, simple personal life, devotional temperament emerged him as one of the most widely loved and respected guru of his times. Earlier, Pandit Vinayakrao had served in the various branches of Gandharv Mahavidyalaya like Bombay, Nagpur and Lahore, and had gained enough experience. Books. Pandit Vinayakrao wrote and published textbooks on music. His famous series of the books is Rag Vigyan. In all the parts of Rag Vigyan, there is a description of rags, alaps, tans, and compositions of 140 popular and rare rags. Prior to this, he developed his own notation system based upon Pandit Pluskar's notation system. His Rag Vigyan series are of great value both for the students as well as for the teachers. Except Rag Vigyan, he published Tal Sangeet in 3 parts and Majhe Guru Charitra in Marathi. While acting in stage plays, Pandit Patwardhan had published a book entitled Natya Sangeet Prakash, in which there are Marathi Natya Geets in 29 rags along with the notations. His performances. Pandit Vinayakrao Patwardhan's career flourished equally as an excellent stage actor, capable teacher, music genius, and a performing and popular concert artist. He established himself a first-rate musician. He was in great demand in various music conferences, radio concerts, Sangeet Sammelans of AIR. Columbia Recording Company had cut a few gramophone records, which became very popular. Pandit Patwardhan was a follower of traditional rags. He always preferred to sing common and expensive rags such as Todi, Asavri, Jaunpuri, Desi, Shussaran, Bhu, Kedar, Hamir, Bageshwari, Jajavanti, Darbari, and so on. Listen to the recording of Rag Jayant Malhar by Pandit Vinayakrao Patwardhan.
झिम झिम बूंदरिया बरसे ऋतुराय सावन में
God granted Pandit Patwardhan a long and fruitful life, and he was able to go on giving recitals till the evening of his life. During the last years of his age, Pandit Patwardhan's Jugalbandi, that is duet, with Pandit Narayan Rao Vyas became very popular, and some of these are preserved in Akashvani's archives. Thus, Vinayakrao's solo performances as well as Jugalbandis with Narayan Rao Vyas won much acclaim even in their ripe old age. He continued to work in his life's mission till the end of his life. It is worth mentioning that a Jugalbandi concert of Pandit Patwardhan and Pandit Vyas had been arranged in Pune, even the same day when he passed away in the morning on August 23, 1975, in the age of 77. Listen to the recording of a Jugalbandi of Pandit Vinayakrao Patwardhan and Pandit Narayan Rao Vyas. His singing style. Pandit Patwardhan had a rich and captivating voice. He had brought his voice to a commendable degree of perfection with the systematic and rigorous practice. He had made his voice so flexible that he could modulate it widely. He could sing in a very high pitch and in a very fast tempo. Full-throated production of sound, purity of rag, bol band, bol tan, etc. were the most striking features of his performance, and with a rare touch of devotion. His specialities were the singing of khayal, tarana and bhajan. He never sang thumri, dadra and tappa. He was an unparalleled tarana singer. He was famous for his forceful and fast rendering of tarana with the tongue-twisting bols. Pandit Patwardhan concluded many of his recitals with the famous bhajan in Rag Bhairavi, Jogi Matja Matja Matja, which was also favorite of his Guru Bhai Pandit Onkarnath Thakur. But of course, the rendering of this bhajan was quite different from each other's. While Pandit Patwardhan sang this bhajan with spiritual zeal, Pandit Onkarnath Thakur's rendering was so full of emotions that often the audiences were moved to tears. Pandit Patwardhan's other favorite bhajans, which became very popular too, were Ab Ki Tek Hamare in Rag Kafi, Raghukul Reet Sada Chale Aaye in Rag Jaunpuri, and Main Girdhar Aage Nachungi in Rag Bahar.
Shri Girdhar Aage Nachungi, Shri Girdhar Aage Nachungi, Nach Nach Priya Rasi Kar Jaamu, Premi Jan ko jaachungi, Shri Girdhar Aage Nachungi.
Listen to Pandit Patwardhan's bhajan, Sundar Sham Dekhan Asha.
Sundar Sham Dekhan ki Asha, Sundar Sham Dekhan ki Asha, Nanan Paan Page, Char Yam Moe Talpat Rite, Ragai Sadani, Sundar Sham Dekhan ki Asha.
Disciples. Pandit Patwardhan trained a large number of disciples in his Vidyalaya in Pune, who later became famous performers and teachers of their own right. Among the prominent disciples of Pandit Patwardhan, the foremost name is Pandit D.V. Puluskar, son of Pandit Vishnu Digamba Puluskar. When Dattatreya Vishnu Puluskar, popularly known as D.V. Puluskar, lost his father Pandit Vishnu Digamba Puluskar in 1931, he was only 10 years old. After the initial training from his father, Dattatreya was groomed by Pandit Vinayakrao Patwardhan, who took up as religious duty to train his guru Pandit Puluskar's son. Pandit Patwardhan spared no pains on his part to groom his revered guru's brilliant son. He encouraged him to develop his own independent style. Thus, D.V. Puluskar grew up to be a legendary vocalist and became one of the most popular exponents of Hindustani classical music. Except D.V. Puluskar, special mention must be made of his own sons Narayanrao Patwardhan and Madhusudan Patwardhan. His most dedicated disciple was Vinay Chandra Modgil, a fine musician and principal of Gandharv Mahavidyalaya, Delhi. His disciple V.R. Athawale established Gandharv Mahavidyalaya, Vashi, Mumbai. Female disciples Mangala Apte, Sunanda Patnaik and many others were his disciples. He was a sincere and dedicated teacher, and his disciples can be found scattered all over the country. Awards. Pandit Patwardhan was honored with many awards like Sangeet Chudamani, Sangeet Mahamahopadhyay. In 1965, he got the prestigious Sangeet Natak Academy Award. In 1972, he was awarded with Padma Bhushan by the Government of India for his commendable services to Hindustani music. He also led the India's cultural delegation to USSR and other countries. To conclude today's lecture, we can say that Pandit Vinayakrao Patwardhan was a worthy disciple of the worthy Guru, Pandit Vishnu Digambar Paluskar. He was not only a popular concert musician, but a Guru of great caliber. He was an accomplished scholar musician who wrote textbooks, developed his own notation system, and was also a well-known actor, singer who enjoyed wide popularity on the Marathi stage during the glorious era of Bal Gandharva. He earned wide respect and affection in his career as a performer, teacher, and stage actor because of his discipline and clean life. Pandit Patwardhan was one of the very few personalities who raised the status of Hindustani music by popularizing it among the educated and cultured circle. In a nutshell, Pandit Patwardhan dedicated his entire life in music preaching, teaching, and popularizing it, and thus proved the true follower of his Guru. I am extremely thankful for the rare photographs which I have taken from the book Vande Vinayakam, edited by Pandit Vinay Chandra Maudgil and published by Pandit Vinayakrao Patwardhan Smark Smiti. Thank you very much.
सुंदर श्याम देखन की आशा, सुंदर श्याम देखन की आशा, नैनन पान पगे चार याम मोए तलपत रह गई एक